It was a beautiful, mild Sunday morning that turned into nightmare. And I don't know what God or gods we were worshiping that Sunday morning, but all the resources of the city seemed to be available for the police. The Public Works, I guess it was a Public Works bucket truck that was out there cutting away branches from the power lines, so this feverish smash it, cut it, haul it away, clear cut could happen. The Public Works bucket truck cutting away the branches so that the chemical torture people could get a clearer shot at the people up there in the trees. You know, sometimes repeatedly. You know, if initially they couldn't get enough chemical on the person, then the bucket comes back and prune away a little more of the cover so they can get closer and pry up the clothing and spray that pepper spray right on the skin. Chemical torture. It was chilling to see how precise and methodical and repeated it was.
One point I'd especially like to focus on is that Mr. Flynn, who was in the tree and the final person removed, that you, the city, used intentional use of pain repeatedly in a non-emergency situation to change behavior. You used intentional pain repeatedly in a non-emergency situation to change behavior. That's actually the definition of torture, Mayor Torrey.
Saw yesterday the cops grab a guy off a bike and smash his face into the pavement, and he was not resisting. He repeatedly said, "I'm not resisting," as they twisted his arms behind his back. And that wasn't enough. They had to stand on his head as well and then force the spout of a pepper spray can into his eye and nose and mouth. You should have been there to watch it. It was fascism in action.
It's pretty sad. I just came to watch the trees be cut down and watch the new beginning, take pictures. Myself and my wife were both maced. You gave no warning on the bullhorns, you know, for innocent people to clear out. I watched children be maced. I watched birds die, squirrels, you know, and I'm an avid hunter and a logger. I grew up in a logging town, and it's really sad. That's all I have to say.
I also want to briefly state for the record that I saw officers, after they had tear gassed people, run over, and one person in particular who I know, Randy Shadowwalker, was bending down in a cloud of tear gas when an officer came over and pushed him to the ground as hard as he could. And then I saw two other officers throw punches at people preemptively as they were in a cloud of tear gas. I'm still in an extreme amount of physical pain. I was not able to lie down all night in jail and sleep. I haven't slept in 2 days. My ears, my nose, my eyes.
Your time is up.
And every inch of my body still feels like it's on fire.
I think it's really appalling that you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Torrey, could sit in your car nearby and not approach us and talk. Obviously, we had concerns if we're willing to risk arrest and risk torture up in the limbs of these big trees being sprayed, and you could just sit in your car and just watch. That's pretty pitiful.
I was thinking about a time when my son was way up high in a tree, and when I realized he was 80 feet in the air, I was overcome with panic. I wanted him to come down, of course, but I was afraid that if I did anything sudden, even yelled his name, he might lose his grip and fall. My inclination was to point this out to the police, to say, if you really want him to come down, you should just leave him alone. But I was afraid to go too near the fence.
I'm very appalled at the action of the police yesterday. I took my kids by there on bicycles in the middle of the day going for a bike ride and saw the devastation. It's not the place that I want to bring up my kids. And I just get very frustrated by your actions and inactions.
This isn't the town that I loved. I sat among you. I know many of you are good people. I think that this was an unconscionable act and an act of hypocrisy.
I guess my overriding sense is one of sadness for Eugene.
Yesterday, as I stood on Lincoln Street and saw that great old maple tree fall, part of the spirit of Eugene died within me.
when I was downtown, something in me died, and it wasn't just the trees. I always cry. It was my pride in my community, and it was the grace and beauty of Eugene, and the fact that I love to walk around downtown, but that pleasure was destroyed.
I and my wife drove down to the site, and I parked at the southwest corner on Lincoln, and from approximately 6 o'clock until 12:30, I viewed that situation. I did not see activities taking place that, in my opinion, justified my interruption of that activity that was taking place within the framework of that fenced area. In my opinion, the officers handled that situation appropriately.